sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
All right, welcome into a Tuesday edition of the JP Peterson Show. We got football going on right now. The Bucs are at OTAs, mandatory OTAs. So you'll catch you up on who's there, who's not, what the heck is going on out there. We'll be talking some Bucs today. The Rays suck again, so we have to talk about them and what the hell's going on with them. But there was a miracle that happened last night at the Trop. We will discuss said miracle that happened last night. FSU to the Big Ten is becoming more of a reality. We'll touch on that. USF to the ACC is really looking good. So all you USF fans jump in on that as well. We got Caitlin Clark overhype. We got Hurley telling the Lakers to suck it. All kinds of good stuff. So we'll get right into it. And welcome in Tim Ham, IndyCar Tim from our DSP Dallas affiliate. What's up, partner? How are you?
Good morning, Tampa. I feel like it's been a while.
It's been a while. You've been under the weather.
I have, man. Really bad.
Yeah. We're both like sniffling today. I got a little sniffle last night as well. I don't know where the hell.
Felt like the wintertime flu in June. It was weird, man. I was getting chills and hot flashes. I thought I was going through menopause or something.
Jesus. Wow. All right. Well, glad you're here. Glad we're chopping up with you today. Lots to get to. We got a couple of great guests. Mike Neighbors is going to join us, the media professor of the year at Florida Southern. So we will chat with him. And we will also chat with Eric Erlinson of lightninginsider.com, talk some Lightning stuff, and of course the NHL playoffs. You watched the game last night?
I did watch the game last night. Very disappointingly watched the game last night.
You don't like the Panthers? Are you just cheering for the West because Edmonton beat your Stars? So this is going?
Yeah, and I kind of like Edmonton. I mean, yeah, I like their team, and they're a Canadian team. I have to support the Canadian team. I don't know what I'd do if it was like, well, first of all, let's admit the Maple Leafs will probably never be in a Stanley Cup Finals again.
No, never.
Never. If it was too Canadian, so we'll say Montreal. I know y'all hate Montreal, but that's my team. Okay, so if it was like Edmonton and Montreal, dude, I mean,
we don't hate Montreal because Marty's the coach. We love Marty.
Exactly,
yeah.
Martin St. Louis.
That's right.
But so no, I hate the Florida Panthers with all of my heart. Like I can't even explain why. I just have so much hate for them.
Well, watching them play is. I don't want to say boring because that sounds like I'm ignorant to the game, and Eric will give me crap for that because the way they play is suffocating, and I appreciate what they do, but it's hard to watch sometimes. It's hard to watch. I'm not saying it's the Islanders trap of the 80s or whatever, they're just so damn good.
Yeah.
And it was like, and if I'm honest, every team that they've played, the team that gave them maybe the most trouble were the Lightning. Yeah. I think it's fair to say. And I think, if not for a couple calls, the Lightning extend the series, but I don't think they win it. And as you know, I said right after the Lightning bowed out to this Panthers team, that team's winning the cup. The Panthers are winning the cup. They're suffocating.
Yeah. I don't think Edmonton has anything for them.
Have you ever seen Draisaitl and McDavid and this group just absolutely shut down like this?
It's crazy.
It's crazy. It is.
They look like the Dallas Mavericks.
Would they have 7 shots through most of 2 periods last night?
Yeah, you're not going to win that way.
I mean, it's just incredible. And they had the lead. They had a 1-0 lead for a majority of the game, but the Panthers just keep coming. The forechecks, it's just like this wave that just keeps coming at you. You might be able to, when you're trying to get out to the sandbar and the waves kind of keep coming at you. You beat one, you beat, but the next one comes and the next one comes and the next one. That's what it's like. You're just constantly swimming against the tide with these guys, man. And you're trying to tilt the ice and you might get it tilted for a little bit, but then it's like being on a seesaw with a big fat guy. You might be able to get him up in the air for a little bit, but boom, you're coming straight back down.
Unfortunately, I'm usually the fat guy in that scenario. So,
Yeah, I was too when I was young. I was that guy. I was like, I'll let you off the ground here for a little bit, but you're going back down.
But that's the way. In the late 90s, the Stars kind of were like that too, man. When they were on their runs and, playing that dump and chase under Ken Hitchcock, it was just boring to watch sometimes. And they were my team, right? Like I was enjoying this, but I'm like, good God, can we just carry the puck across the blue line once without throwing it behind the net? For the love of God.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I mean, it wins games, man. It wins games, and this is a new iteration, sort of that dump and chase that Florida's doing. But it's man, it's effective when you got the personnel to do it. It's effective.
Yeah, their forecheck is just relentless. It's just relentless, and Paul Maurice. I don't know if you saw the quote last night. And I just love his no nonsense style. And somebody asked him last night. They were trying to get him to talk about the Barkov hit. I think it was Draisaitl got him with an elbow and took him off. And if there's a sniff of a chance that Edmonton can get back in it, it would be because Barkov doesn't play anymore. He went off the ice, probably speculating here, of course, but some type of concussion, and nobody knows how long those last. Could that be an equalizer? Perhaps. I mean, Barkov's a huge part of what they do. He's the captain. He's huge. Yeah. So is that a disciplinary worthy play? Yes.
Probably.
In the regular season, absolutely. No question about it.
Yeah.
In the pilot playoffs, no. You're not taking Draisaitl off the ice. I don't see that happening. But I could be wrong. Who knows? Who knows what happens in Toronto? Those people are wacky.
They are.
But the point is, that's how good the Panthers are. I don't even know if that would tilt it in their favor, if it matters. They're just – Bobrovsky has been too freaking good. You give up 8 shots in 2 periods or whatever it was, single-digit shots in 2 periods, and your goalie is playing his ass off. Well, that's a recipe for 1 or 2 goals at most per game for Edmonton. Yeah. And that's Edmonton. And if I'm not mistaken, the highest scoring team in the league or close to it. I mean, it's just it's suffocating. But tip of the cap. I hate to do it to the stinking Panthers, but at this point, I don't see, unless Barkov goes south and Bobrovsky just totally loses it. They're gonna win the cup.
Yeah, the Panthers have always got, I don't know, going back to this, Panthers have just always bothered me. I hate their colors. I hate their logo. I hate the name.
I hate everything
Florida
South Florida.
Panthers. It's
even
just
though
like,
I grew up there.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's a stupid
Why do you
name
hate the Panthers name? The Black Panther is cool.
I don't know. I just don't like the way it looks together. Florida and Panthers. I don't know. It just looks weird.
We have Black Panthers here in Florida.
Sure.
Or
no, I know. I'm aware.
Yeah, okay.
No, I understand the origin of it and stuff. I just think it looks silly. I don't know. And I hate their logo.
They should be the Rats. They should be the Florida Rats. Is what they should be. They should embrace their rat number.
Idiots.
Is that a thing? More because that's what they are. Cellar dwell.
Just call them idiots.
You got to listen. I respect good hockey, and they're playing great hockey. And by the way, so Paul Maurice said, as he's asked a second time, debated for the question, he said about your feelings. The reporter even said, I feel like you're holding back, Paul, on Barkov, on the Barkov hit. Do you really feel that way? And he goes, this isn't the Oprah Winfrey show. My feelings don't matter. Right. It's like awesome. Awesome. Yeah. And he's right. And why at this point where he's at, if you're behind, you want to get involved in that.
Yeah.
If you're behind, if you're not blocked, you want to stir up the pot, do whatever you can to get your team going. But if you're in the driver's seat, you're just like, we're just going to keep driving this bus to that Stanley Cup. We're not going to do anything out of the ordinary. All right, so lots to get to. So we had hit this in the first half hour. We weren't going to go too much on hockey, but there you go. The Rays get swept last night by the Orioles. They've lost 6 of 7 to the Orioles in the last 11 days, 5-2. In these 7 games, they have been out hit by the Orioles 77-50. They've been out homered by the Orioles 14-3. In the 4 games at home, they had 1 lead, and it lasted about 3 minutes. They've lost 13 of 19, and they're now in last place. And for the first time since 2016, the latest in the season, they've been in last place. But there was a miracle last night. And why was there a miracle last night, Tim? Why would something happen on an athletic field that has never happened again? Why?
Someone broke Barry Bonds' home run record.
No.
It's okay. He doesn't hold the record anyway.
Because I had some form of bet against that person.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
So last night I wagered Corbin Burns to get over 6.5 strikeouts against the team that strikes out a lot.
And what was
Young
the
award? He only got it was 6.5, and he got how many?
6.
He got, of course he did. But I did have the Rays, the Orioles plus 1.5 or minus 1.5, and so I won that bet. I won the game bet, but I had the strikeout bet. So Alex Jackson batting 0-43, 0-43, 0-43, steps up, and Burns did go. He did go. By the way, the umpire was awful last night. He goes 3-2 on him, right? And he's like, okay, screw this. This guy's batting 0-43. I ain't walking him. Here's 98, somewhat in, and he got it little outer third, but it was right into the barrel. But it's 98. The dude's batting 0-43, right?
Yep.
Could have been the 7th strikeout if he swings through it, right? Ching, ching? No. He hits a 443-foot home run.
And JP kissed his money goodbye.
You bastard. You bastard.
Oh,
yes.
That's funny.
Yeah. I mean, it's like if a miracle happens in sports, folks, call me or look at my Twitter. I will. There's a pretty good chance that something had to happen of him in the miracle fashion to beat me. And once again, it did. But at least that was covered by the Rays losing.
That's
and
good.
by the way, if you're a betting person, the plus 1.5 with the Rays, they get blown out all the time. So anytime they play a good team, that's a pretty damn good bet. They're going to lose by more than 1 run. So as frustrating as you can be with these awful Rays, make some money. Make some money off of it.
Yes, definitely.
Takes the sting away a little. All right.
Just a little bit.
All right. So James threw some bait out here, and I have to take the red meat because this is sports talk. Stephen A. keeps talking about marketing is the only reason for Caitlin to be on the Olympic team. What about the fact that she leads rookies in scoring? She could have more assists, but you have to make a shot to get an assist, which is a great point. Last night, I watched one of her teammates on an inbounds pass throw it right to the defense. He was like taking an inbounds pass and throwing it to Caitlin Clark and literally threw it right to the other team. Like, these girls are bad. And Caitlin sat the last, I think, 10 minutes. She was not great last night. She missed a shot in the she made a really nice move and got open about 5 feet from the bucket right in front in the key and shot it about 3 feet. It was one of the ugliest air balls. That just reeked of, I am out of gas. I am out of gas. I got nothing left. So it's probably good that she's getting a break from the All-Star team. But she did, and how about her coach revealing that she texted back when she didn't make the All-Star team or the Olympic team.
Mm-hmm.
They've awoken a monster, which just, she didn't say that publicly. She said that privately. She said all the right things privately. And it bothered her. But she said, she was like, no, I'm good. I'm good. I got to earn it. Blah, 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 blah. She's saying all the right things publicly. And last night, another little incident as they were playing the Connecticut Sun, and Dejanay Carrington was guarding her, one of the really good defenders. And Caitlin did not have a good night last night. And she bumped into her, a clear foul. A clear foul.
Yeah.
Like, without question, it was a great head fake by Caitlin Clark and made her foul her. And after she gets called for the foul, she starts mocking her like Caitlin is somehow embellishing the call. You ran into her and then gets booed the rest of the game. I mean, this is why I have this impassioned plea that they should have put her on the Olympic team, because this is going to be what happens forever with Caitlin Clark. They are never going to accept her. And why? They accepted everybody else in this league. Kelsey Plum, white girls, it doesn't matter. They've accepted every other girl that comes into this league. Why not Caitlin Clark? Because she's getting more attention than you, and you don't like it. Jealousy, 100%.
It's like high school, man. It's high school.
It's no different. And it's jealousy tinged with racism and sexism.
Yeah.
Let's just call it what it is. And this And if there was any leadership in the WNBA at all and USA basketball, someone would have stood up in the meeting and go, look, and by the way, Stephen A. Smith, I mean, some of you people act like she never set the record for most points scored by a man or a woman in college basketball. Some of you act like that just never. Oh, and I hear people say she's a pretty white girl. I mean, I don't. That just should have nothing to do with whether and whether I think she's pretty or not doesn't even matter. But she ain't. What's our girl? The runner from Florida. That everybody's going nuts over. What is her? She's actually from Tampa too.
Yeah, what's her name?
Yeah, that girl. God, I wrote it down here too. It was on my sheet. Parker Valby. Parker Valby. Yeah. Now she's a smoke show. All right, everybody's going bananas over her.
Right.
Put in that next to Caitlin Clark. Not that we should ever even be having this discussion, except for people are like, oh, she's a pretty white girl, and this is why what are we talking about here? What are we talking about here? I mean, there's a lot of gorgeous girls in the WNBA, by the way.
Yeah.
A lot of them, of all colors. Of all colors. We should, why are we even talking about this? But we are. It's just gotten so ridiculous. It's gotten so ridiculous. Yeah, because we're degenerate guys, right? Of course. But listen,
year-old males.
Hidden beneath the subtext, they're just not as public as grotesque as men are. But women constantly talk about how hot male athletes are.
For sure. Yeah.
So let's just, let's just pump the brakes, all you girls going crazy over Roman Reigns. Ashley.
Yeah.
I mean,
so I have two thoughts on all of this. And I guess James was it James? Yeah, James was the one that said that. He's watching the same stuff I'm watching. I don't know when he saw Stephen A. talking about this. I saw it this morning on Get Up as they replayed it. Number one, I don't understand the disrespect that she is getting among her peers in the game, her fellow players, because all she is going to do is make you more money.
Yeah.
She's already making you more money. Why are you down on her? Why are you trying to get her out of the league or whatever you're trying to do, other than for attention for yourself? And you're getting it, but it's negative attention. Whoever you are that's doing this, and all of you that are doing it, because there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
You're hurting yourself. You're hurting your own brand. You're biting the hand that is about to feed you a lot of freaking money. So get off it. The second thing, I agree with Stephen A. Smith. Look, and there's two questions here. Is the U.S. Women's Olympic team, is the goal to make money? Is the goal to win the Olympics? Or is the goal to grow the women's brand? If the goal is to grow the women's brand, Caitlin Clark should 100% be on the team. If the goal is to win the Olympics, then maybe not. There's probably 20 or 25 women in the WNBA that are better than her right now. I don't watch all the games. I'm guessing because she's 14th
in the league in scoring as a rookie.
Okay.
Highest scoring rookie in the league.
Okay.
And by the way, she is obviously a deadly 3-point shooter. The international game is all about 3-point shooting.
Yeah. And it's non-contact too, by the way. She's not going to get beat up physically like that in the Olympics.
No, I heard somebody write the other day, the international game is much more physical than the WNBA. I'm like, what are you talking about? I think the WNBA is more physical than the NBA, if you want to know the truth.
Probably so.
But continue. Sorry.
No. So that's the question we have to answer is, are we trying to market the women's game, specifically the WNBA? Because if we are, Caitlin Clark 100% needs to be on that team. Can you imagine all the press coverage, the extra press coverage they would be getting in the Olympics with Caitlin Clark? Everybody would want to know her stat line every single game, right? If the goal is to win the Olympics and win their 8th consecutive gold medal, whatever it's going to be.
They're not going to lose with her.
They're not going to lose anyway.
Yes.
Yeah. Even with her on the team, they're not going to lose.
So there should be a bigger picture here.
Right. But either way, again, it's okay to agree with both sides sometimes, and I can see an argument for both sides. I really can. Do I want her on the team? I'm not going to freaking watch women's basketball in the Olympics if she's not on the team, and she's not on the team. So guess what? I'm probably not watching it.
Exactly. And you and 20 million other Americans, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what, and when you take the entire argument in totality. And by the way, moving the argument forward and the things that are happening, this thing that happened last night, as we're not talking about the same thing, this thing that happened last night is completely overblown. Like they're talking about it on Fox News. A foul and a mocking of the foul is being talked about in the WNBA. Why? Because it drives eyeballs. It feeds the us versus them, black versus white narrative. Let's just be honest. Fox loves doing that. CNN, all major media people do it. That's a lot of what's going on here. It is. Right, there's a racist subtext to it, and to say there isn't is just being disingenuous and not wanting to talk about it and being cowardice. So we talk about it and put it and hopefully try to put it in a little bit of perspective. So the over coverage of her from the media needs to be dialed back in this way. Now, I don't think it's helping; it's hurting. Okay.
Sure.
And second of all, and this is somewhat of a repeat of what I said yesterday, there's a bigger picture here, and that's growing the game for sure. But the other part is the WNBA has screwed this up from the very beginning. What has happened, right? And right now, there's a lot of people that are the casual fans that you want to bring into the tent that, all the Caitlin Clark people, you've already pissed off 95% of them, and they may never come back. So what event could you possibly have that would bring enough eyeballs to reset what you've done? The damage that you've already done, that is a lot of it is irreparable. Is there any event coming up that might draw enough eyeballs that would get you to a point and do something positive to totally reverse what you've screwed up? Oh, why? What serendipity? Here comes the Olympics. Wow. So you're telling me how we've already screwed this up, but if we welcome her onto the team and her and Brittany Griner are high-fiving as they just snowball their way to a gold medal underneath the Arc de Triomphe and the Eiffel Tower.
Oh, that's right there in Paris.
Yeah, wow. As the leftists throw bombs from during the riots that are coming from.
They're coming.
Sorry. Tangent. They're coming. Isn't what? And we embrace Caitlin Clark, all of us, the hierarchy, the royalty of the WNBA. We fix it all in one fell swoop. And God forbid we show some unity in this country between black and white. But no, we got to be petty. We got to be jealous. We got to be divisive. We got to keep her out. What a lost opportunity for society and sports and women's basketball. Dude, what a great opportunity you fumbled away because of your petty jealousy. Don't come at me with, Diana Taurasi's on her 6th team at 41 years old. Oh, this girl is a little bit better and more seasoned. You're not losing, and you can make the argument that you're making a better team because you have a better three-point shooter in that spot than Diana Taurasi, which is what the game is all about. We're going to talk tactics and games, Stephen A. Smith. Give me a deadly three-point shooter that we can get open with all those great post players that you have on this team that can kick it out to her for an open three, which she rarely gets and rarely misses. You want to talk basketball? Let's talk some basketball on what she can bring to this team. What are we talking about? Just stop it. Just stop the stupid basketball. There might be more players that are a little bit better. What are we talking about here? You want to grow the game? You want to do something symbolic? You want eyeballs in the Olympics? How much more positivity can we get on, let's line up the pros and cons, okay, on one side or the other. You got a mountain of pros over here. What are the cons? She's maybe not top 12 in the league, maybe.
As a rookie?
Have we not ever put guys on the team or women on the team that are the next wave just to get them used to being in leadership positions? Have we ever that may not have been the best player in that 12? Have we never put a player on a team in the Olympics that fills a role that may not be the best 12, but is a great shooter, great rebounder, great defender? Have we never done that?
Christian Laettner made the men's Olympic team in '94 and didn't deserve to be there, right? According to
because they wanted to have
else.
A collegiate player as a nod to the old collegiate system.
And everybody got crap for it.
What are we doing here?
Some things never change.
So anyway, I think it's a huge missed opportunity. And as yes, everybody wants to say, oh yeah, we don't want it to be symbolic. Why do they say that? First of all, it's not symbolic. People act like this girl, it's like it's Bronny James.
Yeah.
Sorry. No, Bronny James is not a draftable player unless his dad is going to play with him.
Mm-hmm.
Not. Okay. But we can't be honest about that. But she's not what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Because so many people don't want, we don't want to do anything symbolic here for, because that could be white privilege. We want to stay. So you're punishing her because you don't want it to look like white privilege. It's so screwed up on so many levels, and you had a chance to do something positive. Would there have been some pushback? Yes, there would have been some pushback. And this idea, that her fans would get pissed if she only played 5 minutes a night. They're more pissed because you left her off the team.
Uh-huh.
You dumbasses. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Well, what if she only plays 2 minutes a night? Then they're going to get really pissed. You mean like they are now for leaving her off the team?
Yeah, not if they're winning anyway. Who cares?
Right. Nobody cares. And by the way, how could you not, as a coach, get her 7 to 10 minutes a game when most of them are going to be blowouts? And like I said, she's a great 3-point shooter.
Who is the coach of the women's Olympic team?
I
don't know either.
But
JP, do you think
this
falls?
If Caitlin Clark was playing, we'd probably know by now.
It'd probably be Caitlin Clark. Do you think this falls under the category of even bad press is good press?
Mm-mm.
For the women's?
No,
it's not, right?
I hate to tell you, P.T. Barnum, from 150 years ago, that's when they had newspapers,
right?
And very few of them. And anything you got was good.
Yeah.
In this day and age, no, bad press is bad press.
Yeah.
Bad press is bad press. That's what it is. And you had an opportunity here to have some great press, but you have no press. So it is what it is. We're not going to rail on it every day, but it was a ridiculous. And for those people, it's going to be a distraction. It's going to be a distraction when they get to Paris because the commentators are going to be talking about, well, Caitlin Clark's not on the team. People are going to be tweeting about it. It's so missed opportunity.
I wonder if the commentators, the announcers for NBC, it's on NBC again, right? Yeah, on NBC. Will be under direct orders from the higher ups to not even mention the name Caitlin Clark during
I'm sure they will.
The broadcast.
I'm sure they will. Yeah. All right. Let's take a quick break. And when we come back on the other side, Mike Neighbors is going to join us and we'll chat some Buccaneers. We'll talk some Rays, talk a lot of local stuff. I bet he'll have some thoughts on the media coverage of Caitlin Clark since he is now a media professor. So much more coming your way. We're brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. Scott Jeeves and his group of attorneys will kick ass for you. If you've been in an accident, you need a representative against an insurance company. They are the pit bulls that will take care of your business. They are local, they are trusted, and they get results. Go to Jeeves Law Group and get them on your side. They are awesome. Also presented by the great folks at Hydrate Heroes. Go to tryhydrateheroes.com. Get that great tasting 5 calories per serving hydration drink. All of the good stuff, none of the bad stuff. Tryhydrateheroes.com to get your free 3-pack. And then go ahead and buy some while you're there. Back at 3 with Mike Neighbors. Stay with us. All right, guys. The Golden Diamond Source Memorial Day sale is here. Now, I know you guys are saying I don't have the money to buy a ring right now. Times are tough. What about this? 5-year interest-free financing, so you can buy a $5,000 ring and only pay $83 a month. You got $83 a month to put the ring on the finger of that special person. That's right, $5,000 ring, only $83 a month. So that's 5 years interest-free financing. And of course, the Golden Diamond Source has the best selection. They have the best customer service. And when you shop at the Golden Diamond Source, you can proudly say our jewelry changes lives. We tell you this all the time, folks. The philanthropy of Julie and Steve Weintraub is incredible. Their entire staff very much involved in their philanthropy. The Hands Across the Bay charity helps so many abused women throughout the years. So this Memorial Day, pick a jewelry store that makes an impact. And don't miss their 5-year interest-free sale. It's the Golden Diamond Source, centrally located right there, 3800 Omerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. JP here for my good friends at Italiano Insurance, and they did it again. Once again, Italiano Insurance stepping up with the best customer service. I was in a bind. My old insurance company, my auto insurance, jacked up my rates, so I called Charity.
at Italiano Insurance, and she stayed till 9:30 at night until she got my insurance done. And guess what? She searched all these companies for me. I didn't do the work. She did. Saved me $1,000 on my annual premium. $1,000, folks. That's real money. And that's what you get at Italiano Insurance. Great customer service. And here's another note for you, by the way, with hurricane season up. 40% of people in Florida are underinsured. That means if you have something happen during a hurricane and you need replacement costs, you're going to get 40% less than you deserve. Can't let that happen. Call the folks at Italiano Insurance and get them to help you out in both those regards. They will save you money and keep you insured properly. That's 813-877-7799. Great folks in the community, been doing it for over 60 years. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799.
JP here for the Geddes Gordon Real Estate Group and our good friend Jane Geddes. Folks, simply put, there is nobody like Jane. Jane is a former LPGA two-time major championship winner. She was also vice president of talent relations at WWE. She also has a law degree from Stetson. So if Jane can drain a 10-footer to win the U.S. Open and stare down Hulk Hogan in the boardroom, you want Jane on your real estate team to not only negotiate the best deal, but find you the perfect home or investment property. And when you work with the Geddes Gordon Group, you become part of the real estate family and get concierge services that include expertly staging, marketing, and preparing your home for sale. Advice on golf properties. Hey, you might even get some golf tips. Many of their clients become friends long after the sale or purchase is completed. It's all part of the deal. So if you're looking for that perfect home or investment property or trying to get top dollar for your home, go with Jane Geddes and the Geddes Gordon Group because there's nobody like Jane. Call 813-485-6808 or go to geddesgordon.kw.com. That's GEDDES Gordon.kw.com. or call 813-485-6808. Are you looking to be more productive and healthier? Do you know chronic dehydration affects your overall health and well-being? 75% of the U.S. population suffers from dehydration, and many of us don't even know it. That was me before I was introduced to Hydrate Heroes. 8 times the benefits with hydration. A beverage with benefits more than just hydration. That's right, 8 times the benefits with hydration. Hydrate Heroes provides a refreshing, great-tasting beverage powder to mix with water, providing elderberry, zinc, vitamin D, electrolytes, amla fruit, which provides a great source of vitamin C, along with a proprietary mushroom blend that has shown to help increase endurance and energy at the cellular level. Hydrate Heroes is so confident you're going to love the taste and the results. They are offering our listeners a special offer, a free 3-pack sample, no credit card needed. Just go to the jppetersonshow.com, the jppetersonshow.com, and click on Hydrate Heroes logo. Hydrate for health today with Hydrate Heroes.
Let's go! Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. Oh, many things happening behind the scenes this morning. That was fun. We're brought to you by the great folks at Extravaganza Productions and the Golden Diamond Source. The Father's Day sale is now on, so get something really nice and shiny for your dad. We love watches. I know Mike Neighbors love tie clips. That's one of his favorite things. He's a cuff link guy. We'll bring him in right now. Our good friend Mike Neighbors, the Professor of the Year at Florida Southern. Is this correct?
Absolutely, my brother. You know what? I miss ties, JP. We don't wear ties anymore, do we? We don't.
Who misses that?
I kind of miss ties. I miss ties a little bit. Not full time. I miss once in a while. I like putting a tie on. Not a lot. Just once in a while.
I think I was guillotined in another life because I hate putting anything around my neck. I hate it. Or maybe hung, probably.
Sounds like you were hung.
Well hung. Yeah. So, yeah, I am absolutely no-go on the tie.
No clip-ons, though. Never.
What do you want? Yes, actually, clip-ons. Has anybody here ever tied a bow tie? You can tie a bow tie?
Not I.
Yeah, I went exclusive bow tie for about a year. That's all I freaking wore were bow ties.
Well, how does that not fit for me?
It was great.
I cannot see.
It was before the beard. It was before the beard, and I still had a chin, and you could still see my collar and stuff. But man, I loved them. But I hate tying them.
I tried to do it one time with YouTube, and it was a disaster.
I would ask the prom date, homecoming date, the significant other to do it. I just couldn't do it.
Yeah. That's a clip-on thing all day long. The little thing that goes around the
You can't tell. You can't tell.
What do you got? All right, you all are both dads. What do you want for Father's Day? You can't say world peace.
I just want time with my girls. Let's put the phone in the car.
Yes.
Let's go to the beach. Let's just have conversations and talk about life. I don't need a lot. Just give me your time.
Yeah, we do. So our Father's Day experience is pretty much the same every year. I try to get all 6 of them that I'm aware that exist here to the house, and we do like a quiet movie night. Phones get left in the front room, and we watch a movie, and we talk and we chit chat, and they bring me stupid, stereotypical Father's Day socks and sweater gifts and stuff, and it's one of the greatest nights of my life every year.
That's awesome. I mean, I just had a weekend with my kids, so that was kind of my Father's Day in Nashville. So yeah, time with your kids, and that's all. Yeah, that's and no phones. Yes. Yeah.
I don't allow girlfriends. I never allow a girlfriend to come over for that night either. It's only me and the kids.
There you go.
Whichever one I'm entertaining at that particular time of my life, they're not allowed.
See, we didn't go for any cheesy materialistic thing. We all went just straight time with our kids.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. And we're all lying. All right. If you could get one,
can I get a watch?
Can I get a watch? Yeah.
Talk about it off the air.
I like watches. Watches are nice. Yeah, watches are nice. Yeah. If there was a new toy, probably a new set of wedges would be nice. I could use that because mine are all worn out on the sweet spot. Yeah, that's the problem.
I would like to go. I'll tell you what, my perfect gift would be. I would like to go wherever. I want a gift card for wherever LeBron went to get his new hair, so I could have that same setup going on. He's looking good.
Tim, I'm going to get JP all riled up. Can my girls get me season tickets for the Rays when they build a stadium in Tampa? How about that?
Yes.
There you go.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. A pipe dream. Yeah, that's what I want. A stadium in Tampa where everybody could actually go to it. All right. Enough of that. We got lots of topics here. Where do you we just talked about Caitlin for a little bit, and I'm sure, and I'm interested more to hear your thoughts as a media professor now. I think the coverage of this has been, especially last night, she gets bumped and fouled. Girl mocks her a little bit, and it's on Fox News. That's not helping the situation, in my opinion, the total over coverage of this. What are your thoughts?
Listen, we want the women to win in Paris. There's no doubt about it. We want them to win the gold. I think we all can agree on that going into this debate. But we need Caitlin Clark there because we also need, just like soccer, just like a lot of these sports that need growth, the NBA doesn't need growth. They don't need Paris. It'd be great if they won. The women's game needs Caitlin Clark over there, even if she's not a star, to grow the sport. Listen, my youngest daughter is a bigger sports fan than my other daughter. Fringe basketball fan, more of a baseball, football fan. We've watched more WNBA games in the past 2 months than her whole existence, and she's 19 years old. And there's a reason for that, and there's a reason why many people would watch the Olympics.
Angel.
No offense to the other players. I don't care if Caitlin Clark's not a star. She needs to be there. And anybody who wants to grow this sport and is really honest about it, deep down has to agree with that.
I could not agree more. And she is a star. She is a star.
Yeah.
Is she one of the best 12 players in the NBA? WNBA? Probably not. But as I said earlier, role players are a big part of international basketball, especially if you can shoot the three. Who shoots it better than her? I mean, I can make arguments all day long for a basketball. Or I can make a basketball argument, and the other arguments so far outweigh it in terms of growing the game. And as I said earlier, Mike, they screwed this up from the beginning with Caitlin. What happened in the beginning, they could completely undo it by welcoming her in, high-fiving her, putting her on the floor, embracing her like they should, because of the amount of eyeballs that are going to be on this. It's a perfect opportunity, and they just pissed it away because of jealousy, in my opinion.
Does anybody know if the women's international three-point line is the same as is this a stupid question? Is it the same as the WNBA three-point line? Because I have no idea.
I don't either. It's probably pretty close.
I'm going to guess.
But here's the big, who cares? She shoots 8 feet beyond it anyway.
That would make me want to watch even more.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think the line matters. She was growing up in college, I don't care what three-point line. She was behind it.
Yeah,
she was making
absolutely.
And when you say, is she top 12, top 15? My answer to that is not yet. I think she will be. Let's
Sure.
let her have time. My whole argument with this, people who say, well, there's only X amount of players that can be on this roster. No, you can create a larger roster. The Christian Laettner argument to me is the one that really should hold water for those arguing that Caitlin Clark should be on this team. Christian Laettner had no reason to be on that dream team. I mean, you probably should have put Shaq on that team more than Christian Laettner, but it was almost an honorary thing because he was the best college player.
It was a nod to the college game.
For Caitlin Clark.
Because of jealousy.
Yeah.
Jealousy, and there's no other way to put it. And everybody wants to cover it up by saying it's a basketball thing and if she's not deserving. That's complete horse crap. It's complete horse crap, but whatever. All right, so you mentioned the Rays. Your thoughts on them on the field, off the field, where this is heading. This franchise to me, there's a problem with revenue on this team, clearly, that's not going to be solved by this new stadium because of the location. You're not going to get the premium seating. You're not going to get the corporations to buy in because of location. So if you go forward with this, you're going to be in the same revenue problem that you've always been because of the location of the stadium. So it's not just about the fact it's a horrible deal for Pinellas. It's bad for baseball. It's bad for the fans, in my opinion. What are your thoughts on the whole thing?
I mean, I live in Lutz, but I teach in Lakeland. I'm there 3 times a week, and I talk to a lot of people there. I know they would show up much more often to go to a game in downtown Tampa. I think you have Plant City. I think you could say Winter Haven. I think you could say Orlando. That's a tough drive to St. Pete. You know what? I never kind of bought into that because when I first moved here, I lived in Lutz, and I actually worked inside Tropicana Field. Okay, I was there, and I remember doing that drive. I was just so glad to be out of Jacksonville and be here. I didn't care about the drive, but I get it. You know, that's why, you know, the Lightning are successful for a lot of reasons, and principally their owner and that guy on the Jumbotron in the games and the great and all the stuff that comes with the Lightning. But you know what I'm saying? I really look at it from a different perspective now that I've been in Lakeland, that side of Tampa Bay, you know, that it's on the fringe could really enjoy it. Yeah, I think it could really play a part.
Hell, I'm living over in Winter Garden now, you know, and I never really thought the fairgrounds was an option because I think baseball's an urban game and you kind of people need to walk to the game, be able to leave their offices and take a scooter or an Uber. I think that's a big part of it. But with the explosion of growth where you are in Lakeland and Plant City, and it's going to continue. If you drive that area, it's nothing but development after development after development. Right. A lot of these people are coming from the Northeast. They're older and they love baseball. If and there's a huge revenue stream across I-75 from the fairgrounds that could play a huge part in this. And I know for a fact that they're still considering something. If this thing does not go down in St. Pete, I think you're going to see the Hard Rock folks and the Seminole Indians get very involved in a possible. It's something that they've worked on for years now in terms of planning and how they would do it. It's not something that they haven't thought about. It's very much part of their plans if they get an opportunity. And I think it would be huge. And that would be a location I think that would, like you said, Mike, would open it up for everybody. And then there's tons more revenue for this team to put on the field. And hopefully you get a new owner that actually would spend that money on the field as opposed to this one. This is an ownership and a location problem. They've done a great job masking it with this front office. They've done a tremendous job for so many years with this payroll, but you're seeing what the future of this franchise is, in my opinion. With the Yankees have finally figured it out. The Orioles have figured it out. You better do something bold, and I think it's foundational. It's interesting they've been leaders in terms of innovation. And why can't that carry over to building a stadium? You know, on the field, everybody's following them. But what's interesting to me, a microcosm of all this, guys, is think about this. Tampa finally figured it out downtown. Yeah. You know, we have the Riverwalk and Armature Works. And I guarantee you, you know, whether it's, you know, where you live, JP, or, you know, as I mentioned, Plant City, Winter Haven, Lakeland, more people are coming to Tampa because there's more things to do in downtown Tampa. Yes. We add a baseball team to that, complemented by the, you know, rejuvenation of downtown Tampa. I think it's a no-brainer, but there's a lot of obstacles there. Yep. There surely are. All right, the Bucs start OTAs today. You covered the Saints for a very long time. I know you have other business now, but you're still very familiar with that team. And I see, you know, nationally, you know, there's these national pundits are putting the the Bucks at 23rd in their power rankings. I mean, the Falcons are going to win it. The Saints are better. I'm like, where is this coming from? What are you looking at? What are your thoughts on the Bucks in this NFC South?
Well, I'm still in tune with New Orleans, and I just read a column this morning. They're not getting any respect in New Orleans right now, and I think justifiably so. I mean, if you look at their player ratings going into the season, Pro Football Focus, the Saints have 2 players in the top 20. It's Demario Davis and Tyrann Mathieu. No players on offense. I mean, can you imagine back in the Breeze Payton era having 0 players ranked in the top 20 across the board, all those great offensive lines they had. So I look at the Saints, to me, worse than the Bucks right now in terms of expectations. And if I'm Dennis Allen, I rally around that. That's what he's done. You know, every coach is going to say, I don't care when they care. But Todd Bowles seems to me to be one of those coaches who really doesn't care and really rallies around that kind of thing. And he did it last year. And you know what? Baker Mayfield is a guy I've always pulled for. The older I get in this crazy broadcasting business, you pull for teams less and people more. You want good stories, right? Baker Mayfield is a great story. He just is. Yeah. And I remember watching a game, covering a game, the Saints at Carolina, and Baker just looked awful. But you really can't judge him by that. He was in a brand new offense, didn't have much time to prepare. You could also make the counter argument. He had hours to prepare for that Thursday game, playing with Sean McVay. And then ever since then, it seems like he's kind of revitalized his career. And I'll say this, I got a buddy, his son was a trainer for the Cleveland Browns back in the day when Baker was at his height there. And you hear all these stories about Baker, and this is another misnomer with social media. You see players, react a certain way, and we really don't know these guys. We don't know them like their teammates know them. We don't know them like their coaches know them. I trust how a trainer would know a quarterback. He said Baker couldn't have been better. He couldn't have been more beloved in the locker room. Just a great guy to be around. I actually welcome Baker's honesty in press conferences. I like his sense of humor. I like his brashness. I don't know really what there is not to like. And sometimes the media can be irritating, so I don't blame him for going a little crazy sometimes too. So I think it's a great story. I think it's interesting, JP. I was thinking about this, just looking at the Bucs the last couple of weeks. You lose Shaq Barrett, you lose Devin White, you lose, Carlton Davis, 3 mainstays on that defense in all 3 layers, and maybe this defense could be better.
Oh, there's no question it's better.
Yeah.
I think. Because Shaq, love him, man, and what happened to him was just it's gut-wrenching, but his time has passed with the injury and just from a mental standpoint, who the hell can play through that? It's too much to ask, in my opinion. Hopefully it's better this year. I wish him the best. I hope he has 50 sacks for the Dolphins, man. And I will never say, "Oh, that was a bad move." That's just root for people. We root for Shaq Barrett, for God's sakes. But it is what it is on the field. And Carlton Davis, God bless him, at one point I think was one of the best cover corners. Those days are gone. Whether it's injury or lack of motivation because of a big contract, whatever it is, he ain't the same guy. You got a hungry guy in Zion McCollum. You got a really interesting guy in Bryce Hall, who we talked to last week, who's super smart, and I think going to be a great addition. Tyke Smith, and then you bring Jordan Whitehead back. That secondary is infinitely better than it was last year. And I think the pass rush is better as well because of the draft. But also, Randy Gregory might just be a little niche piece that helps you out. Obviously you're not counting on him, but with the, all that they've added, Kalijah Kancey the second year, or slim down Vita Vea, I think they have a chance to be much better on defense.
I can't wait to see Kancey in year 2 because it seemed like he just got better and better and better. And your first year in the NFL, that's saying something because most of the time you may show signs early on, but you're not used to playing that many games against that competition. And he just got better. You can look at this Chris Braswell. My daughter goes to Alabama. I followed them a little bit. He's an interesting guy too. Yeah. And if he can, provide that edge rush a little bit and help it. I know you're waiting on Tryon Shayenko and
no, we're not. We're not
or maybe you're not. But you know what I'm saying.
We're waiting for him to leave.
Blood in there to hopefully revitalize the edge because in the middle you got it. You got it. And to me, it's only going to get better.
No, I agree. And going back to Baker, since he got here, I've been to a lot of his press conferences. I asked him a lot of questions. I did last week. I've seen him out at some events and chatted with him as well. And I'm here to tell you, bro. And like I said, I don't know him like his teammates do. It's a great point you make. But if you don't like Baker Mayfield, that's a you problem.
Right.
I mean, he's got some, let me explain, some Jameis qualities in terms of his teammates loving him. As you know, I don't know if I've ever seen a teammate more beloved than Jameis.
I got a great Jameis story in a little bit, though.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
But Baker has that same quality. Guys freaking love him because he is authentic. He balls out. He will run through It's all those same qualities. He's not the Brady-esque where he's above everybody else. He's part of the team.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great story, and he fits this team perfectly. He is the perfect leader for the personality. He is the identity of this team. He's the personification of the identity of this team. Always punching up, trying to in underdogs, walk-ons, scrappy, got to prove yourself. It's such a perfect storm.
I don't blame quarterbacks. I don't blame athletes for being guarded. If I'm a big-time athlete and you have social media and you have camera phones and you have all this noise, it's interesting to me that Baker Mayfield and Drew Brees came from the same hometown of Austin, Texas. And really they handle things differently because Brees, and I don't blame Brees for this, very guarded, knew exactly what he was going to say after a game, and I always gave him credit for this, was always better after a loss than a win, oftentimes. Baker, though, lets it fly. He's going to tell you, he's going to be a little more honest with you. And I think he's maybe not as calculated going into a press conference situation. And we've seen it. And you know what, kids, I get a kick out of this from the media is then we're going to criticize a guy for that, but then we crave it. We crave that. But then we're going to criticize him. I mean, I appreciate it, whether maybe I don't agree with what he says all the time, but I like real. And I feel like Baker Mayfield is real. And I like someone who's, I've always defended Brady a lot of the time because I think that he's often criticized by just people who are jealous. But Brady, to me, in his personal life has had some dips and maybe he had some injuries, but for the most part, it was pretty good for Tom Brady in the NFL. It hasn't been great for Baker Mayfield all the time in the NFL. And I think everybody in their lives had ups and downs, and you can kind of identify with the Baker Mayfield more because of that.
Agreed. Tim, you want to jump in here?
Yeah, I wanted to talk about the wide receivers real quick because that's one of the rankings that I thought was the most baffling. They, I think it was Pro Football Focus, had Mike Evans the 20th best wide receiver in the league, and I think they had Godwin at 31 out of the top 32.
Ooh, wow.
Which seems for both of those guys seems a little low. With Godwin moving to the inside here to play in the slot, as we're being told again, where he's probably going to be a little more successful than he's been the last couple of years. His touchdown numbers have decreased literally every year, I think by 2 till they got down to 2 last year. And then of course with McMillan coming in to maybe play as the second on the outside opposite Evans, this wide receiver core as a whole has to be better than like the 20th best duo or trio in the league, right?
Yeah, and I don't know how you guys feel. I think those are great points, and those rankings just cracked me up. By the way, I think, remember how we were all thinking, sign Mike Evans, you got to sign Mike Evans. Boy, that's a bargain for the Bucs now.
Oh, my God. Look, he's getting paid half of what Justin Jefferson's getting paid. Yes.
Right. But I will say this. I think the numbers are crazy, Tim, no doubt about it. But along those lines, I feel that this receiving core will be as durable as any receiving core we've seen for the Bucs in a long time. They're getting Julio Jones over the years and a lot of these veterans that you really don't know if they're going to be healthy or not. I feel like, and maybe I'm knocking on wood or whatever I'm knocking on here, I just feel better about this receiving core all around than I have in recent memory for the Bucs, just because I think Godwin's going to have a bounce back year. I like Mike Evans and Baker Mayfield working together in year number 2. And then I like, all the components with those guys. But, you got to enjoy that 1-2 punch while you can, because in the salary cap era, it's hard to keep those guys together, especially the money they're paying these wide receivers.
And the news is out of OTAs, and I saw a little bit of this last week. Trey Palmer has stepped up, and that dude has size and speed. And if he gets the rest of it, he's going to be tough to stop in another. It's funny about the PFF rankings, and sometimes I think they're great, sometimes they're not. But if you put those rankings up next to production with Godwin and Evans as a tandem are probably, if not number 1, top 3 in terms of production, touchdowns, and yards. So you got them at they're number 3 in actually what they do on the field, but your rankings have them at 20 and 32.
I'll make Bucs fans feel better about this. Think about this. All the great offenses they had in New Orleans for so many years. Drew Brees didn't have an all-pro wide receiver until 2017.
Mm-hmm.
And he started in 06, even though it's a crime that Marcus Colston was never a Pro Bowler.
That's
but
crazy.
It really is.
That's
He's
crazy.
A quiet guy, and I like messing with him about it. But, Michael Thomas was the first one. And it took a year where he had to break Marvin Harris's single-season record to become that all-pro.
Yeah.
So all these rankings, it to me is a collective effort. It's the comfort with the quarterback. You don't have to always have superstars.
Well, and it's your role in the system.
Yeah, Tom Brady showed that for years in New England, and Drew Brees showed it with the Lance Moores, the Robert Meachams, all those guys for years. When you said Trey Palmer, I thought of that. Who cares about the rankings? It's the comfort factor with the quarterback and the receivers.
That's why continuity wins in this league.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's just indicative, though, of the national disrespect that the Bucs are getting all across the board, up and down. And by the way, I don't know, JP, if you guys saw this morning, news out of mandatory minicamp, Tristan Wirfs is there, ready to participate amid, contract speculation as he goes into his 5th year. But good news that he's here.
Nobody. This is another one of those national media narratives. Oh, Tristan Wirfs isn't there. He's holding out. No, he's not.
He wasn't.
He's not holding out. He's off the field so he doesn't get his knee wrecked like Ryan Jensen did. And nobody wants him on the field.
Yeah.
The coaches don't want him out there. The players don't want. You don't want him out there. Sit back, go get the numbers right. He's there taking all the mental reps with the new offense, doing everything he needs to do. But that disrespect again plays in perfectly. Does it not? That's exactly what I mean. Todd Bowles is going, yes. Give me more disrespect. This is exactly.
Absolutely.
And I asked Baker that last week, and I said this, after he gave his answer about it, and I followed up, was like, that's the way you like it. He looked at me and went, yeah, that's exactly the way we want it. We don't want to be the favorites.
That's his whole life. Even though he's the number 1 overall pick, it's crazy to me that he was the number 1 overall pick looking back at it.
I know.
It is, because his life has been the underdog, but he won. I mean, the crazy climb he had to basically walk on 2 college teams.
That's nuts.
Be the number 1 overall pick.
Win the Heisman.
Yeah. But you go back to Wirfs, though. I love that he and Baker are close. That to me shows a lot about this football team. They're raised games together. You see them all over, on off days together. I tell you, you asked me what I want to be for what I want for Father's Day. Can I be Tristan Wirfs' agent for the next couple of weeks?
Yes, that's a materialistic thing, Mike, that you've asked for. It's terrible. You said you had a Jameis story. Did you?
Yeah, you know what? I really enjoyed teaching a great deal. And part of it has been to bring in, people I've known throughout the years to speak to my classes. I mean, I've never in my life taken a marketing class, a management class, an introductory to business class, but yet I've taught them just because we all have experiences. I started my own company. We have businesses, blah, blah, blah. So I started this town hall meeting on campus where we do it once a month. And I call it Huddle Up. We bring in a guest. We bring in, anybody who really wants to be there, and it's grown. And Jameis was my guest for one of the town hall meetings. And he was supposed to be there in person. Then things got crazy with free agency and he couldn't make it. So we have it on a Zoom. And it's in this auditorium. And, usually, you bring in guests on Zoom. It's pretty standard. They're in their house, they're in their office, whatever. Jameis pops up. He's on his phone, and he's walking around his neighborhood in New Orleans. And I'm thinking, well, this is kind of cool, but is the phone going to freeze? What's going to happen here? Amazingly, and Jameis is looking at his neighbors. Hey, I'm doing a town hall meeting right now. I'll get back to you. And he's walking his dog. He's talking to his dog. He's talking to his neighbors. It worked for 45 minutes, and he ends up sitting on his front porch, and the kids are going crazy because they love it. And so the kids came up and asked questions. He just was fantastic.
Yeah,
he's fantastic.
People who hate Jameis have never been in his presence and just don't understand him at all. He's one of the best human beings, honestly, that I've met in my travels. You would back that up as well.
Absolutely.
And it's funny, the national narrative of him is so different.
Yeah,
it's so different.
To me, it's funny how he's embraced the eating of the W's. It's almost like I did that Aaron series where we did like 27 episodes. We got football players in the car and ran errands with them. And I asked him, I said, what is the biggest misconception about you? And without hesitation, he said, people think I'm goofy.
Yeah.
And I'm really not goofy. I just like to have fun. I like people, but let's face it. If we said word association, Jameis Winston, interceptions, maybe goofiness, he's kind of embraced it a little bit. I think he's kind of said, what the heck with it. I am who I am, and I'm going to have fun with this.
Awesome stuff, Mike. Appreciate you as always. Promote your book, whatever you got going on.
Actually, I'm excited. I'll break it here. I just finished my second book, and Dick Vitale has wrote the foreword, and I'll have to come back and I want to introduce it online and everything, but it's really a motivational book about pivoting in your career. And I wanted to do it first, frankly. I got my master's degree when I was 50, started teaching, but still very active in sports broadcasting. But I think I don't care who you are. You have skills that you've acquired over time that you can use for a future career. And that's what the book is about. I've actually interviewed a lot of people, JP, 5 sportscasters that are doing completely different things now. I've talked about Schwarzenegger, the ultimate pivoter, people along the way like The Rock. So Dick Vitale has embraced it, and I'm really excited about it. But I'll let you know in future shows. We're going to release it in the fall. So
I'm looking forward to reading it. Absolutely. Yeah. Great stuff, Mike, as always, brother. Love you, man, and have a great Father's Day this weekend. Hopefully you get lots of quality time with your girls. Thanks,
all right,
buddy.
Thanks, guys. Happy Father's Day to you both.
All right.
See you, man.
All right, take care.
From one great dad to another and great broadcaster, we roll it right into Lightning insider Eric Erlinson joining us here. What's up, Double E's? How are you?
I'm good. What's going on, boys?
Happy Father's Day week, my friend.
Happy Father's Day week. That's right. We get a full week, right? It's just one Mother's Day. We get a full week.
Right. As Titus said last week on the show, Mother's Day's been kicking our ass. It's time for Father's Day to step up. By the way, he's got a big event coming up on Sunday at the AMP that I will be at. And just go to ThaddeusBullardFoundation.com or .org and get your tickets. They're free tickets. It's going to be amazing. So want to get that plug in there. What are you doing for Father's Day? Come join us at the AMP. It'll be 100 degrees.
Actually, we have plans to be over in Orlando. We have concert tickets. Me, 2 of my boys, and my oldest fiance are going to see a concert at the House of Blues.
Wow.
Well, come on.
Barry Manilow?
Silver Sun Pickups.
He's like, JP will never know who the hell it is. I'm not even going to tell him. You're right. No, but I'm going to go check it out now. Because if you like it, it's got to be good.
It's alternative rock. So
I've
heard of them, actually. I've heard of them. I got a good friend that's into them. I've never listened.
Step up on me.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, maybe when we'll come back. We'll come join you. If there's still tickets available, you never know.
General admission.
Yeah.
So, hey,
all right,
nice.
Cool.
So hopefully we can get up close to the stage. That's one of the things I like about going to see shows at the House of Blues is if you get there early enough, you can be, just right off the stage. It's pretty cool.
That's cool. I love it. Love it.
Standing room only? Is it GA standing room?
Yeah, there are seats that you can purchase upstairs, but standing room only.
Gotcha. I'm too old for that.
That's it.
It's got to keep us young, Tim. It keeps us young.
I know it.
But don't you have a bar stool like permanently attached to your ass? I thought you did. You just walk around with that thing and then just sit. No,
it's got like the.
I've been given some bad information on Instagram. I'm sorry.
The legs that collapse up into each other, and then you just knock them down.
Yeah.
You need it.
I think we came up with a great invention right there. Stick in your pan. All right, let's talk some hockey first of all before we get to what's going on with the Lightning. I'm trying to decide whether I love watching the Panthers or I hate watching the Panthers. I know you're going to scold me for this. As a hockey purist, you should appreciate the way they freaking lock you down and just don't allow you to breathe. We saw it with I think the Lightning probably played them better than anybody they've played in this series because Edmonton there's just no time and space. And I do appreciate watching them do it. It can be boring at times, but damn, they are good. They are good. Your thoughts?
Yeah, first of all, me and my son were talking about it last night. I think the Lightning did play them toughest. I know it was a 5-game series, but if Bobrovsky doesn't make that miracle save on Matt Dumba in Game 2, who knows what goes on. I also would have liked to see what would have happened had Tampa Bay faced Florida in round 2 as opposed to round 1. Because I strongly feel that Tampa Bay would have beaten Boston in the first round, and there's no way Toronto beats Florida. So we could have gotten that second round matchup, and that's just the way it is. Matchups mean a lot.
Yeah.
But I watched this Florida team, and I've thought they were the best team, for a while now.
Yeah.
And they remind me so much of 2020, 2021, 2022 Tampa Bay Lightning when it comes to the playoffs, because if they get a lead on you, good
You're
luck.
done.
Good luck. It's just not going to happen. And they do it the right way, right? We talk about the dead puck era and the neutral zone trap and the Devils and all those teams. I mean, go back and we'll touch on it, but the 04 final between Tampa Bay and Calgary, there were 30 combined shots on goal, something like that, something in the low 30s. Yeah. It was hooking, it was holding, it was grabbing. You got away with that stuff. You can't do that now. So they lock it down, just like the Lightning did. They just lock it down with good, hard defense, paying attention to details, and just smothering your opponent and not giving them space. I mean, Connor McDavid is going to get his looks. You can't stop them all. And he's had a couple. He had a partial breakaway last night where he just skidded his way right up through the ice, as Connor McDavid can do. But for the most part, he's been held in check.
Yeah.
And that's not easy to do for 2 games in a row. Dallas could do it for a game, and then the next game, McDavid would get loose. Dallas could do it the next game, and then McDavid would get loose again. And I expect in game 3 that McDavid's probably going to end up with a goal and a couple of points, and we'll see where that leads for the Oilers. But it's just the best definition that you can have is the way the Panthers have described themselves somewhat. Yes, it's a hard system to play, but it's harder to play against. And that's kind of their motto. And do they have some guys that teeter on the line? Sure they do. That's what successful teams have.
Part of it.
Those type of players. And occasionally they'll cross the line, but they just make it hard to play against, whether it's forechecking, whether it's trying to generate speed through the neutral zone, all that stuff. The Panthers are just a well-coached team.
Very well said. And I don't know if one game can turn a series. And do you think a possible Barkov injury could turn the series?
Yes.
Yeah. Right. That was a shot that he took, and he looked a little woozy, and you never know with those, how long it's going to take.
And if you read the tone of the way that the Panthers dealt with that post game last night, including Paul Maurice, who we know is very animated and very open, and he didn't want to answer the question. It's not the Oprah show. My feelings don't matter, right? Like it's so because I think similar as we see sometimes with John Cooper when we ask him post game, he'll kind of maybe dance around it and maybe answer the question without actually answering the question. I think there was some concern with Barkov. I mean, that was a direct shot straight to the head from distance. The guy lifted his feet. To me, that's a suspendable play. Leon Draisaitl did. We'll see how the league handles this with one of their big superstar players in a key moment of the season. If this is regular season, it's a no-brainer suspension. Here, maybe he gets a fine. We'll see. There's 2 days between, right, with the travel. It's by the way, it's the longest distance between 2 teams to face each other in a final. I didn't think Tampa Bay and Calgary. I thought there would nobody be further than that because JP, we experienced that firsthand. And I was surprised to see that this is a little bit longer. I know, Lauderdale's a little bit further south, but so you get 2 days here between. It'll be hush hush and nobody will know anything until we get to game day for game number 3. And, but yeah, a Barkov absence, as good as Florida is, he is so good defensively. He's going to win the Selke for the next 5 years in a row.
Yeah.
He's that good defensively. When Wayne Gretzky comes out and says this guy could possibly be the best defensive forward I've ever seen, that kind of gives you some insight into what other players think of watching Barkov play. He's just a smart player. That could be a game changer because all of a sudden now McDavid doesn't have to face him, doesn't have to go head-to-head against him. Florida's first goal of the series to open game 1 was because Barkov outraced Connor McDavid, right? Up the ice, the rush. It was Barkov who almost left McDavid in the dust, and nobody leaves McDavid in the dust, and Barkov did it. So, yeah, if he's going to miss some time, that could be a series changer.
Well, you mentioned you opened the door for 04, so I'll step through it. 20 years ago this weekend, we were, flying to Calgary and doing live shots for News Channel 8 up on the big mountain, looking down at Calgary. Remember that? Looking at the beautiful, beautiful shot. Boy, what a beautiful city Calgary is. But that game 6 was something to behold in the way that it was played and the way that it ended. There's so much about that trip that I bring back memories. But when we walked in, it's probably 3 hours before game time, and I saw the Stanley Cup in the house, and I was like, "Oh shiz!" It's like, man, what at that point, no team in Canada had won in I don't know since
93.
Since 93 again.
Montreal, yeah.
It still is. Still going. And it was like you could just feel, and if you were in the city of Calgary and you were on the Red Mile, it wasn't just the Calgary fans. It was the entire country of Canada was here to celebrate them finally lifting the cup. I mean, the weight of the entire hockey world was on the shoulders, and it worked both ways. It's pressure, it's also motivation. But the way that game ended, and there are 2 moments in my sports career where I felt this in a stadium. When Warwick Dunn was running down the sideline in '93 at the University of Florida at that game, and the just energy, Florida's about to come back and make this momentous comeback. He takes it 73 yards for a touchdown. The place just went. It was crazy, and except for that little patch of fans that were yelling. Same thing in that Calgary Saddle Dome. It was just you could hear it. You could hear it just the air go out, and then just the lightning celebration was so loud because everything else was so silent. It was just a bizarre feeling. What are your recollections of that whole experience of 2004 and specifically that game?
Well, that game in particular, first of all, the still controversial Marty Jelena play, where everybody thought the puck was in. I remember when that play happens, it was roughly 10 minutes to go in the third period, 11 minutes to go in the third period, something like that. And the puck goes off Jelena's skate. I was talking with Frank Brown, who was the league's communication guy at that time, for Conn Smythe voting, because obviously it was a potential clinching game. So we had to have our Conn Smythe votes in for playoff MVP. And I remember looking down, and I went to Frank. I said, did that go in? Was that puck in? And then they showed the replay and everything else, and determined that the puck didn't go in, despite what people in Calgary still want to say 20 years later. The puck. So I remember that moment pretty vividly. And then the winning goal by Marty, almost a nothing play.
Yeah.
Right. If you were to pose the trivia question, who had the primary assist on that goal? It's Jason Cullimore. Jason Cullimore just threw the puck on net. Marty was down low. He pounced on the rebound and roofed it. And you're right, the entire building and the Saddle Dome seats 20,000 plus. Almost probably 99.9% of it in their red jerseys, all went silent at the same time, to the point where even upstairs we could hear the celebration down on the ice of the Lightning players, knowing that they forced a Game 7 to get back to Tampa. So that's a pretty vivid memory here still 20 minutes later. And just how the Lightning did it, right? It was unexpected. Even though they won the Eastern Conference regular season, and the Islanders were a confident team. They thought when they got their split in Tampa that they had the series in their hand. I remember talking to one of their guys that works in the locker room there, and he said you wouldn't believe how they felt after they won, that Game 2, and then Happy Bullen goes up and shuts them out twice in games 3 and 4, and then it just kind of rolled from there. The LeCavalier between the legs goal was 16 seconds left, and the look on Sheldon Surrey's face, and just his head just dropped as it happened, and Richards banking the puck in off of the skate to Jose Theodore. Just so many moments from that entire run, the back and forth, the Bobby Clark calling him John Tortorelli, after during the series against the Flyers.
Shut your yap.
Tim Taylor's "you got to look the devil in the eye" comment. There's so much great stuff that happened during that 2 months, which we as a market here in Tampa, we hadn't experienced anything like that.
No.
We had Bucks success, but a football playoff season, is 4 games max, right?
Yeah.
You got to win 4 games just to get out of the first round, and it's a 2-month roller coaster. This community, the sports market, hadn't experienced anything like that before, and I've said it many times. A generation of Lightning fans were born during that Stanley Cup run.
That's why they have the success they have now in terms of attendance, because those kids and the great grassroots, marketing of the Lightning. It just dawned on me right now how similar Rondé's interception and Marty's goal were. They weren't you didn't win the championship at that moment officially, but you did.
Yeah.
Having Calgary go back to Tampa and fly back with the cup was in the house. It almost felt like a fait accompli. Like you lost your opportunity and now you got to fly back to Tampa and try, and you had this game. It's hard to come back from, and Rondé on foreign soil, a suffocating atmosphere. You make a play, and you beat a team, and then you go win the Super Bowl, and it's like, Game 7. Even though it was a very, very tight Game 7, no question about that. But it was like that was Rondé's play, and the Game 6. They weren't the championship winning moments, but they kind of were. And it's very interesting. I remember just covering the team, going in that locker room, and this is the first time I'd really been up close covering hockey. And I'd covered football and championship runs of basketball teams and all kinds of different teams. But I would go in that room with Bob Hansen, our photographer. We do, after wins and losses. And those guys would be so physically spent. I mean, there's literally pieces of ear hanging off, stitches. Marty getting his big toe drained that was, couldn't even fit in his skate because he had to get it drained every game. And I'm looking at these guys, and I'm going, they're done. They're like, they can't come back. And this is the second round. I'm like, I don't know how you come back and play 2 nights later. And yet they did. Yeah, and they kept coming back. And that's all teams go through this. But to see that up close, I mean, I've seen post-game locker rooms in football and guys are spent, but this was every other night for 2.5 months.
Yeah. And it's not the physical drain.
Yeah.
It's the mental grind.
Yeah.
And this is after an 82-game regular season. It's why we say it's the hardest trophy in sports to win. I mean, just think about that roller coaster that the Lightning went through just in the final 2 rounds, right? Like they're kind of in control of the series against the Flyers. They win the first game. They trade wins back and forth. They're up late in Game 6 with a chance to clinch it. And, Keith Primo, being the beast that Keith Primo was in that series, ties the game with just over a minute to go. Simon Gagne wins it 5 or 6 minutes into overtime. All of a sudden now you got to get on the plane. You got to go back home. The Lightning were the team that had to deal with everything that Calgary did after Game 6, right? Because they were in control of that game, and then you lose it in the final minute, lose the lead in the final minute, lose it in overtime.
It's a great point.
I remember hearing stories about, and I don't know if Jay Feaster will admit to this, but they were talking about, okay, when do we hold the next interviews? When's that going to happen? Like even they had sort of a defeatist thought process because that is tough emotion. Yeah, that's tough emotionally to recover from. And then the Lightning did it. And then let's remember in the Calgary in the Stanley Cup final, they lost Game 5 on home ice in overtime.
Yeah.
Oleg Saprikin had the overtime winning goal in Game 5. Now Tampa's the team that has to go literally to the belly of the beast to try and win that game. And this is where John Tortorella was so masterful when they landed in Calgary and they had their media availability. He said it. Hey, pressure's on them. They have to win. They're home. They're trying to win the first cup for Canada in 11 years.
Absolutely.
They have to win. And, he had so many of those moments of shut your yap moment. Obviously took the pressure off his team after losing Game 2 against Philadelphia. But just that emotion. We talk about roller coasters of emotions in hockey. I mean, that 0-4, especially the last 2 rounds, were just the epitome of dealing with the emotions and not getting too high and not getting too low and trying to deal with them and channel it back onto the ice, which is not easy.
That's a great recap, by the way. That's absolutely fantastic.
I feel like I just watched it again.
I was riveted right there. That was a fantastic story.
What happens next?
Well, let me tell you about a guy named Ruslan Fedotenko.
There we go, right there.
Who, by the way, because of that game, something has happened with him, and he hasn't aged since.
Oh my goodness!
There's like he drank
So
from
jealous.
the cup. It was a fountain of youth and a Stanley Cup at the same time. So I don't know how that worked, but it's happened.
Must have been that time he spent in Sioux City in junior hockey.
I don't know what it is, but that dude never ages.
Yeah.
It's weird. Hey, before you get out of here, because I know you got a big movie to go to, the Stamkos situation. You read things. Oh, there's no new news to report, and then everybody in the national media says that means he's leaving.
No,
whatever. What are your thoughts as we sit here today?
Well, no news is good news in my opinion. In some ways, I mean, we're still only at June the 11th, and you've got 3.5 weeks until we get to the start of free agency. And the good news is, in all in this, is that now we know the salary cap number. That was the big thing. We had an idea of where it was going on. I actually ticked up a little bit more. So it was supposed to be around 87.7, that area. It's going to be 88 million. So it's going to go up. And Gary Bettman indicated that next year it's going to go up even more, which is a huge, huge help to a lot of these teams in the flat cap. And we knew it was going to go up once the players paid back their their payback from the COVID losses. Once all that was paid back, we knew the cap was going to go up with all the TV revenue deals and everything else. So this is the year one of the up going up. Next year, it's going to go up even more. And we know the Lightning need it. And now Julian and Matthew and the front office staff there have their window. They know what it looks like. They know exactly what they've got. I still firmly and strongly believe that this is going to get done. It might get a little closer to the edge than a lot of people want. But when you've got a motivated team and a motivated player, even after the addition of Ryan McDonough, there's not a ton of cap space, but they can create cap space. So there's nothing solid to report, and that's exactly the way both sides want to make sure it stays that way. You're not going to get too many guys leaking this situation out. But to me, don't panic because you haven't heard anything yet. They're grinding away at it. And when they grind away at something like this, that's so important to both sides, I still think it'll get done.
And there has to be probably another piece that has to be done in terms of shedding salary. So that's going to take time to find the right partner, et cetera. All right, Eric, great stuff. Please promote whatever you got going on the website and everything else.
Yeah, so I just wrote something. I don't know why I haven't put this link out there yet, but I just wrote something a couple of days sort of addressing the roster situation and the Stamkos situation after the McDonough trade. So if people go to the website and look under commentary, you'll find it. You'll see it on the homepage as well, sort of outlining, okay, what are some of the roster moves that they might have to make or could they make? So all that stuff is up on the website. It is lightninginsider.com. It's two plans. There's a $40 plan for a year. There's a $4.99 plan for a month. And hey, draft is just a couple of weeks away. Free agency is just a couple of weeks away. And before you know it, it'll be September, and we'll be talking about training camp.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Double E's, thanks, man. That was great stuff. I'm going to put that link out there as well today so people can see it. So post that on your website.
I will.
As well. Appreciate you. Enjoy
Thanks,
the movie.
boys. Be well.
All right, happy Father's Day.
Same to you guys.
Yeah, great stuff, man. That was really fun reliving that. Oh, man, one of the high points certainly of my career, being able to cover that team in such a close fashion. It was tons of fun. All right, we got to take a well overdue break here. We are brought to you by the great folks at Extravaganza Productions. If you have a big meeting coming up, a small meeting, a charity event, whatever you got, let the professionals handle it. If you need some ideas on what theme you should have for your event, Extravaganza Productions has some great creative people there. Their producers will help you, and you can take a look at their warehouse full of props to get some ideas as well. Get a free creative meeting from the folks at Extravaganza Productions by mentioning this show and going to their website, extravaganzaproductions.com. You can contact them through email or phone. Extravaganza Productions, the best in the business. Back in 3.
You're listening to The Strike. 102.5 WHPT, HD2 Sarasota, Tampa, St. Pete.
JP here for the Jeeves Law Group and my man Scott Jeeves, who lives right here and has long been a highly respected member of our community. He's a proud sponsor of the Tampa Riverwalk. Jeeves Law Group is also a proud sponsor of our Grand Central District in St. Pete and has neighborhood events throughout the year. He has an office on Central Avenue in St. Pete and one on South Howard in Tampa. You can't get more local than that. So when you need an attorney, you're going to hire some huge firm that advertises all over the state or the one that supports your favorite sports show. It's the Jeeves Law Group. We're local, we're trusted, and we get results. For personal injury and personal attention, call us for a free case evaluation. That's 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES.
All right, this is for all you guys who don't want to go to the gym and do 5,000 crunches. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, you can get on the new True Body machine where you can reduce fat and tone up your muscle. It's like doing 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Define your body as you see fit. True Body offers personalized muscle stimulation that delivers the equivalent of those 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Just get in touch with them at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Chris Lugo and the team over there will set you up on True Body and get amazing results. Non-invasive with comfortable and little to no pain and zero downtime. You can isolate and target those areas that you want to improve and treat multiple areas simultaneously. It's an amazing machine, so check it out at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com.
JP here for Extravaganza Productions. You know, I've worked with these pros on so many big and small events. They recently did the Kappa Alpha Psi Grand Reunion, the Tampa RV Show Exhibit. They did the Skills Center opening of Tampa Bay. They can do those small events. They do the biggest of events. So if you were thinking about planning a meeting or special event, call the talented staff at Team EPI. They will give you a free creative meeting if you mention the JP Peterson Show. They will provide you with an exceptional experience. Heck, they'll even show you their huge warehouse with great props. Anything you want. They'll do it on time and on budget. You can reach them at their Tampa headquarters at 813-621-4700 or go to extravaganzaproductions.com. Tell them JP sent you.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. Brought to you by the Golden Diamond Source. I have to get call my man Chris Lugo or Bay Area Modern Medical Center to get something. Dr. Knows from them.
Get some stuff, huh?
Get some stuff.
By the way, is there anything more odd in sports? Maybe odd's not the right word, but almost uncomfortable than the road team skating the Stanley Cup in the visiting arena.
It's weird.
Like I experienced this in 2000.
Yes, there is something more weird. In front of nobody in COVID bubble.
In 2020 in the bubble, yeah.
That was even more weird.
I can imagine. But it's just, because you get a few scattered. Like in 2000, this happened here in Dallas when the Devils beat Dallas 4-2, 4-2, with Jason Arnott's goal in the second overtime. And it's just, that was the first time that I, as a sports fan, had experienced a championship loss. Because think about it. So here in Dallas, we had, I think the last championship loss was 78 when the Cowboys lost to the Steelers in the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. I was 7 years old. Clearly not on my radar yet, right?
Right.
So I go through the 90s. Cowboys get all 3 Super Bowls, right? Boom, boom, boom. We're not supposed to lose. We're Dallas. The Stars in 99 win the Cup. And I'm at Reunion Arena watching this, and I'm like, wait a minute, like, we're not supposed to lose. This doesn't ever happen.
Not on our ice.
No, and you're watching we had just skated the Cup the year before at Marine Midland Arena in Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
So we did it on visiting ice, and now New Jersey comes in, and Stars fans are like, because we're still kind of new to hockey at the time. I mean, I wasn't, but the city of Dallas was. And they're like, wait, what just happened? Is it over? It was so confusing at the time to look around and look at people's faces like, we don't lose championships.
It's weird when it goes on home, and then the shaking of the hands after these physical crazy series. That's one of the
coolest things to me in all sports.
We went back to COVID. So when the Lightning win the Cup and they can't skate on home ice, right? So they come back, have an event for season ticket holders. I'm trying to remember which one this was. There's like 2,000 people in the building, and they come home and skate it on home ice. Right. I was like, this is awesome, but it's also bizarre.
Were they in uniform when they did that? Did they bother to put on their uniforms and skate, or just in street clothes, or just jerseys? Maybe just probably just.
Yeah, I think it were just jerseys and skates. Yeah.
Wow.
And then the banner ceremony. It was. Now you look back on it and go, 6 feet. We just kind of made that up.
Do you feel it all cheated with that Cup win in the bubble? Or you still got a cup? I mean,
I never felt cheated about it. Cup's a cup. The people that say, "Oh, you won it in the pandemic."
So that's the one we lost, right? That's the one y'all beat Dallas for.
Yeah.
In the bubble, yeah.
Yeah, and I just can you imagine the stupid stuff they had to go through, getting tested every day. I mean, and you look back on it, and you know what you know. You know what you know now, and some of us knew what we knew then. And you're just watching them jump through these stupid hoops that have no bearing in science whatsoever. Everybody telling you that it does. And imagine and the Bucks the same way.
Yeah,
they had to go through. And Bruce talked about this the other night at the Hall of Fame, and he just talked about how people had to buy in. And I know these players. These players were like, "This is so effing stupid what we're doing." And I don't know the number, and Bruce no one will ever divulge it. But there was a lot of guys that had fake cards. A ton.
Oh, for sure.
Antonio Brown wasn't the only one. He was the only one dumb enough to have it put on that he went to Citrus County to get his vaccine.
Right.
You dumbass. And had his chef get him the fake card. Like, the dude is just the biggest freaking moron. And then don't pay the chef. So he has an axe to grind.
Yeah.
But the truth be, so many of them had fake card. And tell me Tom Brady took that vaccine. You're out of your freaking mind.
Ain't no way.
Puts in his body.
TB12 didn't put it out, so he ain't taking it.
Some guys were courageous enough to take the heat, and some guys were smart enough not to. Yeah. So I don't know how you put it in all that, but that's whatever that is. But yeah, the COVID thing was weird, but I never feel cheated. And anybody who says, even the Lakers COVID championship, no. What these players had to do and the hoops they had to jump through on a daily basis to stay on the ice and the commitment that it took to not go out and do all these things. Yep. I mean, my Lord. And you know what? Truth is, that was a huge part of winning for both teams.
Sure.
Many teams just quit and said, "I'm not doing this crap." And for you to have the leadership and to keep everybody together, jumping through these stupid ass hoops on a daily basis, getting tested every single day. So you could go outside and practice. I mean, it's amazing. I think it's amazing feat. And, Sal Palantonio has come on this show many times and said, I covered Tom Brady's entire career. The greatest accomplishment he ever had was winning a Super Bowl in a pandemic when he had to come in and learn an offense and learn a team and keep them all together, doing all these things and put it all together. And you think about it as an absolute, the football stuff is hard enough.
Yeah.
Do everything else. Unbelievable respect for the leadership of both of those teams, all the teams that did that. I think it's incredible. Some breaking news here of some sort. Very high level sound effects on the show. Randy Gregory was not at mandatory OTA today, and it was unexcused, according to Todd Bowles. That goes back to his lawsuit now against the league for being able to smoke weed and not get fined, which I think he should be able to do. He has a medical card for it. He has social anxiety. He has another diagnosed reason for being able to smoke it. It's just we're past this now, and now it becomes an unexcused absence because I'm guessing within his legal situation, maybe he can't go to practice or what. I don't know, but whatever the reason, it's not good for the Bucks. I mean, you need the player on the field. You need the player on the field. I know it's OTAs now. It doesn't matter that much. We'll need them more for training camp. So I think they'll get this all sorted out. But again, this is like, what are we doing?
I hugely question. Well, first of all, I think we talked about it on this show. I question the signing, first of all, because this is the baggage you get with Randy Gregory. Yeah. All right. He was here in Dallas for a long time and he couldn't play because of weed suspensions, and the Cowboys stuck with him and rode it out because they had faith in him. And he was a really good player. Like he had the talent level to be a top tier defensive end, pass rusher, edge, whatever you want to call it. And he had one good year here in Dallas where he behaved himself and things were fine. And then he just sort of fell off. Right. And then the whole debacle with he's agreeing to a contract with the Cowboys and the Broncos at the same time. And then finally told the Cowboys, look, I'm going to Denver instead for the same exact contract, except What's legal in Colorado that's not legal in Texas?
Bingo.
Boom. Leaves the Broncos to go to the Niners and just doesn't do well there. Like, I get it. He's probably still got something in the can, or in the tank.
Yeah.
Weird way to mix those up. But
in the bong.
I question his fit in the defense, where he's going to play. I like the guy as a dude. I've met him. I've interviewed him. I've talked to him. He's not a bad guy. He has some serious demons going on in there, right? That he is doing his best to deal with. The only way he knows how, the only way that's ever helped him, and the league is telling him he can't do it. Well, that's not conducive to a real good performance on the field either, right? Like, if he's having to deal with all of this stuff on the side. So I don't know
where he
fits in the plan for the Bucs.
It seems like a bit much for the talent available. Yeah. And I think if I can speak for the Bucs, maybe some things they can't say publicly is we said, hey, figure this stuff out by training camp. If you're good to go, you're good to go. I mean, you could be saying, look, if he gets to self-medicate with the marijuana, it could really help him and he could become something that they don't have. They don't have a guy with that length coming off the edge, knocking the ball away. Those are, you do 2 or 3 of those a year, you can win 2 or 3 games. They're game-changing plays. They don't have anybody with that length and that speed and that experience. And they're just looking for kind of a little lightning in a bottle. And if they can get it all figured out, it might be something nice. But if there's I think if this lingers at all, they could cut bait, and there's really no risk here. There's very little risk. It either works out the way we want it to, or you're gone. You didn't invest any draft picks. You didn't invest anything. It's just, it's a bet. I don't think there's a whole lot of money involved here. So I think that's where they're at. And the more the more distraction it becomes, the less likely it will be to be here. So I don't think it's that big a deal, but I think it's either a positive or you're gone. And that's where they're at. Go ahead.
I was going to say another low-risk move we made that James reminded us on the chat here when we were on with Mike Neighbors is when we're talking about wide receivers. Yes, Sterling Shepard did sign with the Bucs.
Yeah, he talked today too. Yeah,
and he talked to I'll get into that over at buckscountry.com for you guys. But I think this is a low-risk move. I'll be kind of surprised if he makes the roster. I don't think he's got a ton left. This was a situation where, he and Baker are really good buddies. They played college ball together. I think Baker thought, maybe we need to add a little bit of depth here for camp to see how it works out. He gave Shepard a call. He said, hey, man, do you have anything left? And he says, I'll do my best. And they brought him to camp. That's all it is.
If Godwin goes down, he can step right in. He's experienced and he can figure out the routes. That's just an insurance policy. There's no, I don't see a role for him in the starting plan, but look, it's a sport of attrition. Guys go down. It's great to have depth, especially
that position, man.
Depth. Yep. And just before we take a quick break, this is I think JC Allen just tweeted this out. Look at the ticket prices for Bucs games right now. $54 plus fees. So that's $1,000 after you check out a Ticketmaster. Right. For the Washington opener and Raymond James, you can buy single game tickets for $54. Game 3 against Denver, $48. Atlanta, at Atlanta, $32. New Orleans, you can get tickets for $34 for that game at home against New Orleans. I mean, that's less than you can buy an outfield ticket for the Rays. You kidding me? You can get a Carolina Bucks ticket for $19. I mean, these ticket prices are really good.
That might be too much for the Panthers.
And Carolina Bucks at home starts at $35. So, I mean, you want to talk about a great value for an NFL game as opposed to a Rays game with a contender. I mean, jump on those tickets, kids. If I'm you, get those single game tickets right now because they will go up. I'll be interested to see what the fees are, though. It's absolutely crazy. All right, listen, we're going to take a quick break because we're one break behind. And we come back. I'm going to get to all the comments. We have a lot of great comments today. And I want to shout out to my new buddy Laird, who's joined the show today. Thank you for jumping in here. We'll get your comments and everybody else's. When we return, we're brought to you by the great folks at Italiano Insurance. I'm working with them again now for our new homeowners insurance. They saved us $500, $500, folks, on new homeowners insurance because there's new companies coming in. Check with them. You could save big money. 813-877-7799. Just make the call. Tell them JP sent you. Costs you nothing. They'll shop it around. They can save you $500. It's a no-brainer. Come on, people. Do it for your auto insurance as well. They can do that. Let them do the work. You save the money and great customer service. They'll get right back to you. 813-877-7799. Italiano Insurance. Back at 3. Are you looking to be more productive and healthier? Do you know chronic dehydration affects your overall health and well-being? 75% of the U.S. population suffers from dehydration, and many of us don't even know it. That was me before I was introduced to Hydrate Heroes. 8 times the benefits with hydration. A beverage with benefits more than just hydration. That's right, 8 times the benefits with hydration. Hydrate Heroes provides a refreshing, great-tasting beverage powder to mix with water, providing elderberry, zinc, vitamin D, electrolytes, amla fruit, which provides a great source of vitamin C, along with a proprietary mushroom blend that has shown to help increase endurance and energy at the cellular level. Hydrate Heroes is so confident you're going to love the taste and the results. They are offering our listeners a special offer, a free 3-pack sample, no credit card needed. Just go to the jppetersonshow.com, the jppetersonshow.com, and click on Hydrate Heroes logo. Hydrate for health today with Hydrate Heroes. JP here for the Geddes Gordon Real Estate Group and our good friend Jane Geddes. Folks, simply put, there is nobody like Jane. Jane is a former LPGA 2-time major championship winner. She was also vice president of talent relations at WWE. She also has a law degree from Stetson. So if Jane can drain a 10-footer to win the U.S. Open and stare down Hulk Hogan in the boardroom, you want Jane on your real estate team to not only negotiate the best deal, but find you the perfect home or investment property. And when you work with the Geddes Gordon Group, you become part of the real estate family and get concierge services that include expertly staging, marketing, and preparing your home for sale. Advice on golf properties. Hey, you might even get some golf tips. Many of their clients become friends long after the sale or purchase is completed. It's all part of the deal. So if you're looking for that perfect home or investment property or trying to get top dollar for your home, go with Jane Geddes and the Geddes Gordon Group, because there's nobody like Jane. Call 813-485-6808 or go to geddesgordon.kw.com. That's GEDDES Gordon.kw.com or call 813-485-6808. Hey, the Golden Diamond Source Memorial Day sale is on. You got a graduation coming up right now. You want to get a gift? What better way than to go to the Golden Diamond Source right now? Your destination for over 40 years, if you can dream it. They have it all under one roof. Folks, graduation gifts are very, very special. So get them something shiny, something that will last a lifetime. And that's the Golden Diamond Source. They have a tremendous selection there, great customer service. And of course, if you're selling or trading jewelry right now, you can get the highest trade-in value of the year for your diamonds. Upgrade today and use that money towards a graduation gift. It's the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Olmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com.
JP here for my good friends at Italiano Insurance, and they did it again. Once again, Italiano Insurance stepping up with the best customer service. I was in a bind. My old insurance company, my auto insurance, jacked up my rates, so I called Charity at Italiano Insurance, and she stayed till 9:30 at night until she got my insurance done. And guess what? She searched all these companies for me. I didn't do the work. She did. Saved me $1,000 on my annual premium. $1,000, folks. That's real money. And that's what you get at Italiano Insurance. Great customer service. And here's another note for you, by the way, with hurricane season up. 40% of people in Florida are underinsured. That means if you have something happen during a hurricane and you need replacement costs, you're going to get 40% less than you deserve. Can't let that happen. Call the folks at Italiano Insurance and get them to help you out in both those regards. They will save you money and keep you insured properly. That's 813-877-7799. Great folks in the community, been doing it for over 60 years. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. Hunter Biden should have hired Scott Jeeves. Although Jeeves is a great lawyer. But
he might not be that good.
I don't think you can. No. You can have video of yourself smoking crack with underage hookers. By the way, is that a crime? And he
I mean, smoking the crack is.
I saw a lady running for for Congress down in Miami district, African American lady. She's been like, if this MFer gets off on all this crack smoking gun charge stuff, he goes, we've been put in jail for how long for smoking crack? Well, all this stuff this guy's done is all on tape, on video, and this MFer's gonna run free. You must be kidding me. So they had to convict him because the evidence was just freaking overwhelming on this gun charge. But it's like it's a slap on the wrist compared to the real thing the dude's done. It's like the tens of millions of dollars in influence peddling and all this other BS that's going on, and they get him for this.
So ridiculous.
He's going to be slapped on the wrist, do no time whatsoever, and well, whatever. The world we live in right now. So there's your breaking news. Yeah, great stuff. I want to get to some of our great commenters today. Rick is jumping in. Let's get a little music for this. Yeah, I absolutely love it. Rick says Tim was right. Jackson is on pace to tie Barry Bonds' home run record in 800 years.
By the way, I don't recognize that record, so put that asterisk up there.
Now it's Josh Gibson, right?
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. To be quite honest with you, maybe that needs to be a topic we talk about on Friday when I come back, because it's a touchy subject, but I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about it then, because that's a big, big topic. We may disagree on that one. Jackson is on a tear. Remember, he was batting 0-10 a week ago.
Jeez.
Got him in. I have him in the lineup. Caitlin wishes she stayed at Iowa. Did I not say stay at Iowa? Stay. You have no idea what you're in for.
She had one more year, right?
Yeah, she could have played one more year and obliterated all the records. But I think that's why she didn't stay. She didn't want people to go, oh, you stayed for the COVID year and blah, blah, blah. You're afraid of the WNBA. Who cares? This is why you didn't want to go, because you knew this. She probably didn't know. She probably, been playing ball all her life and been accepted. She had no idea this is what was waiting for her. But many of us did. Many of us did. James says Caitlin shoots like Steph. If not for rule changes, they would not be a Steph. Female analysts say WNBA a physical league. Okay, that's good. Who wants to see thug women beat up on someone? Not me.
No.
I mean, I likened it to the NBA when the bad boys came in and got rid of the Lake Showtime and Boston Celtics. That was one of the greatest rivalry because it was beautiful basketball. And then the Pistons ruined it because all they did was just foul the hell out of the Lakers. It was terrible. It was bad.
Bill Laimbeer.
Dennis Rodman.
Yep.
Yeah, it wasn't basketball. I mean, I had Isaiah Thomas and Dumars were basketball players. The rest of them were just freaking
thugs.
Horn. It was awful. It was terrible basketball. People want to say, oh, it was physical back in the – yeah, so what? It was terrible basketball. And then the Knicks followed with Oakley and that group. And no. Yep. Maybe the WNBA doesn't care about growth. They are fine being an NBA tax write-off. Girls play for 2 months and go to Europe and make their real money. Maybe
is that true?
Yeah.
Is that a thing? I didn't know about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Trivia from our friend Nathan Elliott. Did you know that you have to walk underneath the Paris roundabout to get to the Arc de Triomphe?
Never been to Paris.
I have, but not for long.
I've been to Paris, Texas.
I went to the Louvre.
And, go ahead.
And then Notre Dame, the cathedral, is just absolutely spectacular. I got to go back to Paris. I'm not during the Olympics.
No. Here's a fun trivia fact for Nathan. Back at you, Nathan. Paris, Texas has a mini Eiffel Tower.
Does it really?
Believe it or not. Yeah.
Of course it does.
Sure does.
Rick says LeBron is going to force the Lakers to draft his son with the second round talent.
God.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to be in Cleveland. I mean, in LA. I think he might go back to Cleveland. Who knows? But we didn't even mention this. Danny Hurley saying no to the Lakers, telling the Lakers to suck it.
Good for him.
I mean, what's funny about the national media? Everybody had him taking a job. Why would he stay in college? But the Lakers' job is calling. Who the hell wants that job?
Why would you want that job?
Yeah, you're not even running the team. LeBron's running the team. And if LeBron leaves, what do you got left? A China doll and Anthony Davis and a bunch of scraps with
Well, I mean, the only reason Darvin Ham took the job is because he didn't have one. He was an assistant, and he's like, okay, I'll be the head coach under LeBron.
Rick, what are you doing here to me? Nothing says a great time with your kids than doing bar crawls in Tennessee.
Only if your kids are old enough, Rick. I got 3 that aren't. 3 that are, 3 that aren't. So
called me out on that one. Yeah, we had spent some quality time at some restaurants as well, and did some other things.
Nothing's wrong with bars.
We just listened to music and drank and had fun. That's what we do. Laird Edwards, my man from this card right here. We were shopping for RVs yesterday. Have you seen what these RVs are these days?
Hell yes.
Giant Recreation World. Laird Edwards, sales professional, great dude. If you guys are in the market, call my man Laird at Great Recreation World. Really great family-owned company. Super folks over there. Great meeting you, Laird. Thanks for watching. He agreed with us on Caitlin Clark. Tonight will be my first Rays game and my second Cubs game, both on the road, says Christopher Cole. Says he's going to report back about his Trop experience. Well, I can tell you what it's going to be. They're not going to hit. Everything's overpriced. It's a terrible drive, but enjoy. Have fun.
Enjoy your time away.
Thomas Casper is all over this. Says Stu and Hines offered no revisions for today's meetings. So all the revisions that the city council wanted in this deal to make it somewhat fair, they just said, nah, we're not interested. Shocking development. Who predicted that?
JP Peterson show.
Good luck with that. Hello, Laird. Thank you for jumping in. Sterling Shepard just signed as well. Yes, he's here. He's for backup. Did Jameis drive the Publix on his errands with Mike Neighbors? Come on, Rick.
By the way, you want to hear a hint that Sterling Shepard might not be around when the season starts? What? Did you see what number he's wearing in camp? For a wide receiver?
25?
25. May not have a lot of faith that he's going to make the roster.
Rodgers not at Jets minicamp today?
Yeah, but have you not seen this story?
No.
He told the Jets months ago, so he has an event, I guess, that he's hosting or has something to do with, and they didn't excuse it. They knew about it months ago, and he told them he couldn't be there to start minicamp. But they didn't excuse the absence. They just said, fine, you're still a no-show. What the hell are they doing? Why? Well, then tell him he can't go or something. But, I mean, who cares? It's Aaron Rodgers.
He's got plenty of money. Fine him, whatever. Are those Bucks tickets on or next to the sun? Get a seat on the aisle next to the solar flames. Hey, it's a 4:25 game, so it'll be nice and cool. Jeez. Yeezy says, I think most fans wait till games get closer with our weather. I think but if you want to get the good prices now, great deals right now. Absolutely. Nathan says, hi, Tim. Where you been? We miss you.
Been sick.
Meanwhile, the corrupt New York judge put Trump in jail.
Yes. Idiot.
Now we got convicted felons all over the place, right?
Yeah.
Whatever. Our justice system is a complete and utter joke. By the way, there's a Russian submarine right off the coast of Florida.
They can have Florida. I mean, I love you guys in Tampa, but I mean, the rest of it they can have.
If you're going to blow up South Florida, yeah, okay, that's fine. I could. Okay.
And I haven't been to the Keys yet, so give me a chance to go to the Keys before you blow up all those.
Middle?
Yeah.
Build a bridge from the Keys to Jupiter.
Yeah, exactly. I'd take it.
It's where I grew up, for God's sakes. We can't say that. Rick, Tim, the underage kids are designated drivers. They're old enough to drive. It doesn't matter. One issue at a time.
Yeah, they are.
Guilty.
Good point.
Guilty. Good point. Better than driving drunk.
Absolutely.
And finally, James says Judge Marchand picked in Bannon case. Oh my God! Sure. By the way, we're all watching this show, Your Honor. It's freaking unbelievable. It's on Netflix. Just absolutely fantastic. Great plots in this. It's all shot in New Orleans. Oh God, I'm having a brain fart with the main character from Breaking Bad.
Oh, yeah, I know who you're talking about.
I got total brain fart. One of my favorite actors. Anyway, he's awesome. The whole cast is really, really good. It is a great show. It will suck you in. We're about done with season 1,
heading to season 2. It's called Your Honor. If you're looking for a show, absolutely jump in. My good
Like
friend
network
Brian-
TV? Like, is it on regular network
Netflix.
TV or is it? Oh, it's on
Netflix.
Netflix. Okay.
Yeah, Netflix. All right. Some other things. Do you see Anthony Richardson got that full back tattoo? Did you see that thing?
Yes.
And evidently he took 7 hours of anesthesia to get it. So now
Oh, he had to be put under? I've never heard of that.
Yeah, all you tattoo people are like, what are you doing, man? You gotta take the pain if you're gonna do it. That's part of it.
I didn't know you could do that. I'd have more tattoos then if you could do that.
Yeah.
I don't have any because I'm terrified of the needle.
Oh, you don't have any? I thought
I don't have one single tattoo. I want
the
all
beard
the tattoos.
just says tattoo.
I mean, I got the piercings and the beard. You know, I mean, if it
follows. You would have
they
a tattoo.
could put me under, dude, I would have all of the tattoos.
He was under for 7 hours. Isn't that dangerous?
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
It's like open heart surgery.
I want to get like
that's
my mom.
dangerous.
I've had that, and I'm not afraid of that.
Yeah, right. But is that a thing for you tattoo people? Is that cheating? Is that cheating? This tattoo, though, by the way, I wonder what it costs. I don't know what it could, but man, it's all different colors. It's got an NFL shield. There's like a lion on it. It's badass if you're into that. I mean, it absolutely covers his back. It's crazy. What else did I want to get to? We talked about Hurley staying. That's a big deal for college basketball, to be absolutely, 100% honest. Our girl Parker Valby, who just won the 5,000 and the 10,000 meters in record time, shattered all the records. And she's got, 110,000. She's from Eastlake here in Tampa Bay. She is like the newest. She's the next Instagram sensation college athlete. Beautiful runner. And she's an incredible runner. And is really taking the world by storm now is this Parker Valby. The University of Florida, and the University of Florida men's won the outdoor, and then 2 of the ladies won the national championships. So she a new sensation on the track and field. I guess she'll be going to the Olympics. I guess she's going to win the Olympic trials now, but she probably will be on the Olympic team. Oh, I don't know though. Will she be allowed? Will she be allowed to? She's too popular.
And by the way, can I go on record while we're discussing this to say to everyone listening in Tampa, DFW, and all over the world, I think Caitlin Clark's kind of hot.
Okay.
I'm just throwing that out there. She's what I call sports hot.
Sports
of course,
hot.
then you have the crossovers that they're just hot like Olivia Dunn. They're just hot regardless, right?
Yeah.
But I kind of think her skill sets on the basketball court make her way sexier to me than like just if I just saw her in a ball or something.
I think, all this just gets us in so much trouble. It's awful to say. You can't say a woman's beautiful anymore. You can't.
I know.
No, I think Angel Reese is very attractive.
Big time, yes.
She starts her antics.
Until she opens her mouth.
Yeah, there's a lot of beautiful girls in the WNBA. Cameron Brink. It's gorgeous. There's a lot of them, and then you look at women's golf, volleyball. Across it, you get across the board, and we're supposed to, we can't say that. That's sexist. But the ladies can, talk about how hot Roman Reigns and Bryce Harper, which is fine with me. I don't care. Although
I'm not offended.
When Ashley does it, it does get on my nerves a little bit. I mean, the drooling is a little much, honey. I think you should, you need a towel there.
I mean, the whispering his name at night in your sleep is probably
Can we stop that, please? I mean, my God. I know we look alike. I know that there's a definite resemblance, but
Very
come on.
close.
It's insulting. How the hell we got here? All right. Anything else we missed today, partner? Good God, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Breaking this up my nose, continuing to run. I'll block it with my phone. There we go. All right, we'll be back tomorrow. We're going to have Joe Urso is going to join us from the University of Tampa. He was supposed to be on today, but had to push to tomorrow. So he'll join us right at the top of the show tomorrow. They've just won their 9th national championship. I think the 6th for Joe Urso. Incredible Division II University of Tampa. So he will join us tomorrow and some other surprises as well. Yes, James, I know it's about corrupt judges. Absolutely. It's the whole system's corrupt, in case you haven't figured that out. So do something about it, people. Do something about it. Like they did in France. How about that? Did you see that? All over Europe. All over Europe.
Sweeping
throwing out
changes.
the socialists. Yes.
Yep.
Please
continue here in America.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you all for joining us. We love you all. Whatever your political persuasion or any other persuasion, we love everybody on this show. I appreciate everybody jumping in. Please like and subscribe on our FanStream Sports, JP Peterson Show channels on the podcast as well. If you miss anything, Apple and Spotify, please like that there. Have a great day, everybody. See you tomorrow.
F you, F you, F you, and F you. Peace out. I'm going to go have a Guinness.